All right, it's time for video number 2 of our trip to Belize.
All right, so in this part of our video, we're going to go over our 3 stops. First up is Placencia. Placencia is a peninsula kind of in the middle of Belize. It's probably the most visited spot, I would say, or one of the most visited spots. It's definitely very Americanized. It has a Publix grocery store. It has lots of great gift shops and stops. I would suggest wherever you're staying there to park the car and make sure that there's bikes. So this area is the beginning of the peninsula. I was told that this spot here was developed originally by a Canadian who basically robbed a bunch of people of millions of dollars, and that's why there's a lot of houses that are unfinished, because he took their money and didn't finish the area. We stayed at a cute place just outside of Placencia, which was called Maya Beach or Maya Beach. This is where we stayed. This is called Swan Villas. It had a great spot for parking if you are driving. It didn't have a gate, but it had a chain across. As you can see there, it had some bikes that we could have ridden into town. Matt had strep throat at this point in our vacation. He didn't know. We ended up stopping at a doctor's office, and for the whopping $50 American, he had a full inspection by the doctor, and we got medication. We stayed in Dolphin, which I believe is one of their smaller little villas. I thought it was super cool. It was kind of mid-price range, but well worth it. So we only stayed one night because we wanted to save as much money as possible, but still have the experience. It had this neat little hot tub, which wasn't overly hot, which was great because we ended up plunging Matt in there with his fever. Great kitchen. It even had a laundry room, which was a huge plus because I had been hand washing our clothing as we only brought backpacks, so we had very limited clothing. The toilet was on the main floor, and then up the stairs was the bedroom and this amazing shower that you'll see in a minute. It also had a balcony, and everything was round, which was kind of the whole concept is what I got. It did have 2 AC units in it, so it was perfectly cool. Here's the cool shower. Now I will say the shower didn't have hot water, which was kind of disappointing, because coming inside from a swim in the pool into an air-conditioned unit was a little chilly, but that's fine, we made do. They had these great hammocks. I kept waking up super early in the morning around 5 o'clock, 1, because of the time change, and 2, I didn't want to waste any time. I had this cute black cat that I definitely made friends with. I attempted to bring it home, but was not allowed. So this villa is located on the lagoon side. So you don't have a beach, and I didn't necessarily want to go swimming with the crocodiles. So I stayed out of the water. However, they did have kayaks that you could get in and go down. This was this great little place we found that we had breakfast at the one morning. Brewed Awakenings. It's upstairs, it's kind of hidden. Matt totally got swindled into buying a little turtle basket for our daughter Ava, so I left him to deal with that. Upstairs, it had this cute balcony, super good smoothies. I forget what one I had, but it was something banana, and Matt had a peanut butter chocolate smoothie, which was to die for. We had a great view, and we met these really cool people that were from the States that now live down there. There they are there. We made great conversation with them. There's the delicious smoothies I'm talking about. You have to get a smoothie. Matt had a smoothie bowl for breakfast. I had a zucchini chocolate muffin. These were the great people that are just friends, not a couple. From there, we walked down the road like 30 seconds, and there was this amazing, pristine, beautiful beach. It was a harbor, so on the inskirts is where all the boats come in. You can see all the sailboats, and there's a massive cruise ship over there that you don't see quite yet. There it is off in the distance. I loved it here. It was super clean. There was like 2 kids and a dad on the beach, which I am so not used to, but it was amazing. I forgot to put on my swimsuit bottoms, so I did have to go swimming in a thong, so it was nice to not have anyone there. I will say that. Here's the Publix. Great grocery store. It also had a pharmacy in it that we got Matt's meds at. This was our drive to Hopkins. And I don't know if anyone knows, but Belize is a huge Mennonite community. Apparently they came over in like the 1950s. They basically own all the farms. This is the Blue Hole at one of their national parks. Again, only 2 people there from the States. They were a great couple. We made friends with them. I let them borrow my snorkel and my goggles. And now this water is apparently a natural spring that's an underground river. So it comes up from that really deep blue part there, and it goes down the stretch and down back into a cave. It wasn't warm, but it was very refreshing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You're engulfed in the jungle, which was beautiful. There were little fishies in there that were super curious and friendly. They would swim with me, like literally right beside my face. It was a great experience. First morning in Hopkins, and not a bad view.
Hello, I'm coming. I will come see you. I will come see you. Hi, babies. Hello. Hi, sweetie. Hi, sweet babies. Hello. Oh my goodness. Such happy babies. You want him to come see you. Hi. Hi. Oh, you got a big gash on your face. Hi, pretty girl. Come here, pretty girl. Come here, pretty girl. Hello. Don't bully her. Don't bully her. She's a nice girl. She's a nice girl. We're out here this morning, sleeping in the sun. I turned around, and there's a jellyfish right beside me. Let me see this one. Hardly even see him. We stayed at Kissity at Sandpiper Beach Cabanas. I've adopted this little girl doggy. I've told the owner she has to keep her for me and keep her safe. I left food and flea spray. Matt ended up getting stung by that jellyfish right on his nipple, as you'll see in the next picture. Then one night, because Matt wasn't feeling great, I went to Driftwood myself, which was this great bar right on the beach. If anyone stays there, please update me on my little Freya. This was Driftwood, a bar and a restaurant on the beach. They're not always open, so double check, but they were delicious and I had such a fun time. I went by myself and was totally safe, totally fine. My front door view this morning. There was so much sea life at Hopkins. It's definitely where we saw pretty much the only sea life possible. We stopped at this resort for breakfast. I can't remember what it was called, but it was just down the road from where we were staying. I decided to make some delicious salsa from some of the fresh food I got from the market the day before. It was the best salsa I've ever made, and I absolutely love Mexican-styled food. This was delicious. I had some Scotch bonnets in there, which the next day ended up killing my mouth because I think I got some seeds in. But it was divine. There's the caretaker. She is the owner's daughter. She was so friendly, so helpful, and such an amazing person. We chatted all the time, and she promised she'd take care of my little Freya there for me while I'm gone. We then stopped at another beach hotel down the road again and had that delicious curry. Matt obviously still not feeling good, so he's just relaxing on the hammock while one of the little local boys was catching shrimp every day on the beach there. The one morning we caught one together and we just let it go because it was just a small little guy. But absolutely so much sea life at this location. It was phenomenal. The next part of our trip, we were headed into San Ignacio Jungle Lodge on the river called Lucky Dreamer Lodge, owned by 2 American couple, and we absolutely loved it there too. It was probably my second to third favorite just because it didn't have the ocean, but it had a great river.
Our reason for going in there was to get some work done on finalizing details on our house. We stopped at some ruins there as well. I ended up having to help a local Canadian as he got heat stroke and they didn't quite know what to do. I'm terrified of heights, so this was excruciating for me. Matt made me do it. I'm glad I did do it, but I definitely did not enjoy it. He had a great time. We stopped at the museum that's also at the base of the ruins. It has great artifacts in there, and unlike the museums here in Canada, they weren't really like hidden, so you could kind of touch them and get really close to them. It was great. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it only cost about $8 or $10 in total. This was this cool hand-cranked bridge, which I felt so bad for the guys who had to crank us across. This beautiful river. We ended up stopping at it because I think I was starting to get like overheated and needed to cool down. Super clean, beautiful, loads of locals there swimming. We found that at most rivers, the locals were having a great time with their families swimming. And here we are at our last stop, Lucky Dreamer Lodge. It was beautiful. It was so amazing with all of the wildlife. I saw a toucan one morning, and they have these most amazing glow bugs that I didn't put in the video because I really didn't get a good video of them. I was so wrapped up in watching them. They're huge and they're neon green. They were just absolutely amazing.
Good morning from beautiful, jungly Belize.
At Lucky Dreamer Lodge, we stayed 2 nights, and we walked every morning just up the road to this place called Carm's. Lovely lady who owns it, and I believe either her daughter or her granddaughter helps her cook. Delicious food. I'm very limited as to what I can eat because I'm allergic to eggs. So I had her fresh bread and bacon, and of course Matt had everything because he's a pig. Our next stop was Premier Homes. There's 3 major companies in Belize that build the prefab homes. This one is by far the best quality. However, you pay for it, as you should, so we decided not to go with them just to save on the budget about half the price. I will go into another video later down the road as to who we've chosen and the next steps with that. But these houses were beautiful, and if you have the money, I highly suggest them. The lady was great, and they also make amazing furniture too. We didn't like this floor plan, so our house that we will be building is based on the next pictures and video. The airport was so busy. This was us leaving. They're definitely getting more popular and bursting at the seams. We thoroughly enjoyed our trip. I hope you follow, subscribe, ask questions.